Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another installment of the Ant Green Show Sports Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Greenheart, and today we actually have a special edition episode that we are going to be doing. And this episode is actually going to be our Coach's Corner in relation to sports and obviously in particular to what we've been covering recently, which has been the NBA 2022 playoffs. And I have with me, of course, you guys know him. He's been on many of our episodes in the past. One of our great co-host speakers, Jelanie. He's going to actually be giving us a coach's perspective, but not only that, he's going to be giving us a little bit more insight in terms of who he is, what sort of things he has going on, because I've known Jelanie for a long time. Childhood, grew up with him, went to the same camp. We know a lot of the same neighborhood friends, and we've been communicating with each other as much as possible. And this show has allowed us to reignite that friendship, also touch base and make sure that things that we have going on, if we could help each other with it. So this platform has been about to help promote others in the areas of sports, fitness, music, and food. But the sports podcast, we've been really focused on a lot of the NBA stuff, and I know that Jelanie is involved in a lot of sports coaching. So really happy to have you on, Jelanie. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about basically everything to do with what Jelanie is all about, who he is, what he's been up to, a look into his future with some of the organization, with the organization he's with now, and then some of the things he's looking to do with that. And then, of course, we're going to get into the current affairs, which is the NBA, talk a little bit about some of the hoops for the coaches from a coach's perspective, and then take it from there. So without further ado, Jelanie, it's great to have you on, man. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, man. Just came from a championship game. When my Wildcats U17 girls got the banner from a team from Halifax, so I'm happy that that's first one in the books for us this summer.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of happy about it.
That's good, man. And congratulations for that, because all of those type of achievements, it stays with you throughout your career, and you build on that, right? And then the people that you do it with, you build those relationships. So really happy to hear that you got into that. So for people that maybe don't know you, because I know a lot of our fans and our audience have been tuning in based on the sports podcast that you've been on, but more a little bit personal about yourself. Can you tell some people a little bit about yourself, maybe some of your achievements recently, and just stuff that you would want people to know about you?
Okay, so my name is Jelanie Duhaney, and I've been coaching since 2012. I originally
Yep.
started at Brookwood. It was a friend of mine, Leo. His sister got me into the program.
Hmm.
I was coaching House League girls. I was there for 3 years. I won the last two, so back to back. That was my first ever championships as a coach. So looking back, I didn't know what I was doing, right? So I was just picking up a clipboard and just drawing up plays and this and that and whatever. And
Trying to get a bucket.
yeah. I started off very, very aggressive. Like I was always yelling at my players and whatnot. But one of the players once told me that it's good that you're yelling because it's like motivation. So
Hmm.
as I continued to do that, a lot of stuff was happening. A lot of victories were piling up. A lot of kids were a lot more motivated. So I found something to start with that helped me get better, right?
Yeah, for sure.
After that, I left Brookwood for personal reasons, and I decided to join. I did Wyoble, which is the West Island Outdoor Basketball League.
Right.
I did that for a couple of years, and then I went to West Island Lakers, and I was there for 3 years. Um,
Yep.
I left because one of the there was one year, I believe it was in 2017,
Hmm.
the juvie team folded, and a lot of players left to go try out for Brookwood. So it was kind of like the
Yep.
writing was on the wall, per se. So
Right. Right.
I didn't join another MBL team. MBL is Montreal Basketball League, by the way. So
Yep.
I spent a year out, and then ironically, one of the players from that Lakers team from the year before,
Hmm.
um, he told me I should try out for Sun Youth. So I contacted the guy at Sun Youth, and we spoke. And I sent him an email actually, and he got back to me the next day. And then the rest is history. And I was there for 2 years. I was assistant coach for Mini AAA. So it
Yeah.
was a big difference, when I made the jump from Lakers to Sun Youth, in a sense that no disrespect to any of these organizations, but when I went to Sun Youth, it was a lot more technical. It was a lot more
Hmm.
strategic, and just the different ways of the coaching.
Yeah.
It's crazy, how much you can learn
Absolutely. Shout out to
so
them.
fast.
They have a
Yeah,
culture built there, and yeah,
yeah,
you are a part of that, and you got that experience for yourself, and you got to see it firsthand, and you also got to take some of it for yourself to see how you could use that for what you want to continue to do.
exactly. And so after Sun Youth, there was an opportunity. Actually, before I even get into that, my friend Bruno, we met up at a Tim Hortons near his house, and he told me he wanted to start a basketball organization. I said, What made you want to do this? And he told me he always wanted to start an organization. So
Yeah.
we sat down. It's crazy, man. Like we sat down, we talked about it, and I even came up with the name Wildcats. And that's where I'm coaching right now, actually, is Wildcats. So when we came up with that name, the wheels were put in motion. We started up the organization. I was coaching U17 boys, and this was in 2019.
Yeah.
And I ended up winning my first year, actually. I got the chip. Yep, my first year.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Chips with
yeah.
the dip.
That's it, man. I got the chip. And then me and Bruno had a bit of a falling out. And this was when I actually went to Sun Youth. Actually, sorry, I'm kind of mixing up my story. And this is when I was at Sun Youth. And then I remember there was an express tournament last year. And this is where I thought the writing was on the wall. I saw him at the express tournament. I asked him, how's everything going and whatnot. I mean, we always kept in touch, even though we had a bit of a falling out. We always kept in touch. We
Right.
always had an understanding of one another. So there was never any kind of misunderstandings or any discrepancies. So he told me, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and big things are popping, and I felt that energy coming out of his voice.
Right.
So after that, after last year, he actually hit me up and said, "Look, I'm looking for a coach to coach boys U14 for the summer." So I thought about it. I contemplated. He asked me if
Yeah.
like I said, he asked me if I knew anybody that wanted to coach. I said no, and I thought about it, and I said to him, "You know what? I'll take an interview." So we had a 38-minute interview, and he ended up giving me the position. So I'm grateful to be back at Wildcats. Very respectable organization. Actually, I forgot to mention we were an honorable mention of top programs in Montreal.
Right. Yeah, no, that's
So
great. And do you
this
remember
this
where
is
that
like a great accomplishment so far for
yeah.
us.
Okay. No, that's good, man. I'm happy to hear that
No, you were gonna
because
say something.
yeah, no, I was gonna say which publication was it that you were you mentioned in? Do you remember the name? Like because it was like part of
No, I don't.
okay. Well, no, it's good because there's a lot of programs in Montreal and the
I'd have
fact
to check and get back to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's a lot of programs in Montreal that are happening, and I think for getting any type of recognition, it's always a good thing because it tells you that you're doing something right. You're, with the people and it's working for you, and then maybe you're also contributing to that, so you're making your impact there. So really happy to hear that you guys are getting that mention, and obviously you seem to be doing well there. So being that, so you are from Montreal, you have some experience working with a lot of the local teams, local organizations. What does a day in the life look like for you as a coach now? Because I know that in the beginning, I know, like you said, you just had your clipboard and X's and O's. You're trying to get things to work. What does a typical day in the life look like for you now as a coach and working with this organization that you're so happy to be with?
Not only with them, I'm also at Calais Charlemagne in the West Island, off Gouin. It's an elementary slash high school, so it's kind of attached. And I'm doing elementary boys and girls, and I'm also doing band and boys grade 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, I forgot to mention that. So so a typical day for me is like this. So basically, sometimes, especially in the mornings, on the weekends, let's take the weekend for example. Like I'll get up, I'll have my breakfast, and then I just want to go on my computer and just look up videos, like anything, like
Hmm.
plays or just watching like highlights of
Strategies
certain
and
things,
just
drills and whatnot.
sports
I'm always doing
analysis. Yeah.
something. Exactly. I'm always doing something basketball related. I always want to look for things to add to my agenda, add to my repertoire, and
Yep.
every day I'm learning. You know what I mean? Every day I'm learning about
Of
something. So
course.
there's no shame in the doesn't matter how many years I've been coaching. There's no shame in sitting and taking the time to look up videos or drills to
Right.
betterment yourself. So
Yep.
it's a lot of it's for me it's a lot of time consuming, and sometimes I treat it like as if like I'm on the big stage. Like I take it very very seriously.
Right.
So before, like let's just say like during the week, like like Tuesdays I would be at college Charlemagne, so the day before I'll be up all night, if I'm working by the way. Sorry, if I'm not working, I'll be up all night like looking up drills, looking up different things that I can use to help my team get better. Like I said, it's all about getting better. So
Yeah.
there's always something, or
Something to help you improve or
yeah,
something to help to
exactly.
make things more effective. No, I get that. And
Yeah.
if you're not putting that time into your craft, there's other people that are doing that. And not saying that anybody's strategy, like everybody has their own strategies, everyone has their own way of doing things. But if it is working for you and you are getting the results, then you know that you might need to just continue to maintain that. You can never stay stagnant because things are always changing. Players are developing into better athletes, and you have
Mm-hmm.
to be able to manage that effectively. So I like the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you're continually adding to what your coaching style is. And
Exactly.
you know so kind of like looking now into like the future. So if we're going into a future now perspective, and even just currently what you're doing, but moving forward into the future with what you're doing, you mentioned you're with the Wildcats.
Yeah.
What are some things that you guys have in terms of like any recent announcements for things that are going on, any type of programming? Do you guys have anything going on currently? And if there is, what are some of those things?
So a bit about Wildcats right now. So we have 7 teams right now. We have a boys U14, which is what I'm doing. The
Okay.
president of Wildcats, Bruno, he's coaching U15. My good friend KJ is coaching U16 boys.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cool.
there's a guy named Christian. He's coaching U15 girls. My friend Rajeev, which I'll get to in a second, very funny guy, very motivating and inspirational. He's coaching U17 boys, and then my friend Yasin, who just got the banner today, he's coaching U17 girls. So
Okay.
a bit about Yasin, not Yasin, Rajiv. At tryouts, when I came first, before I even came to tryouts, Bruno hit me up saying, yeah, I got so many good players. I got like D1 players coming to tryouts. Like he was talking the big game. And when I went into that gym, and by the way, we practice at a venue. When I stepped into that gym, I kid you not, man, the talent
The
was
energy.
insane. It was insane. I was yelling, "Yo, this is Christmas! This is a Christmas gift to me. This is a
Yeah.
Christmas gift."
Yeah. That's
And
a coach's dream.
yeah, my friend Rajeev, who coaches at Thetford, by the way, he brought some of his guys to try out, and man, they're just so talented. It's amazing.
Right.
These kids nowadays, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So right now we have a lot of tournaments coming up. I just finished a tournament called Born and Again.
Yep. Talk
I
talk talk
believe,
to talk to us a little bit about that. How did that tournament play out?
yeah. So I remember the first game. I think we smacked the team by like almost 40 points, and I remember
Schmacking.
Bruno. Yeah. Bruno came to the game. He sat down, and I was actually yelling at him on the bench because, like I said, I'm very, very passionate. I'm very emotional when it comes to these things because I told my guys that this summer it's not about wins, it's statements. It's statements,
Right.
for
Right.
all of the so-called wrongdoings, which I don't want to get into, in the video, of me and my coaching career. Like this is where I wanted to step it up, and I wanted to make a name for myself and show people that
Absolutely.
I'm not who you think I am. You know what I mean? I'm not just some guy that's going to sit on the bench as an
Yell a
assistant
bunch of
coach
things
holding
and
a
hope it
clipboard.
works.
Exactly, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
I'm the real deal, you know. That's the whole point. So like I said, it was all about making statements. So I remember every time we hit a
Feel
three or
you.
every time we blocked a shot or whatnot, I looked at Bruno. I'm like, this is why you hired me. I was yelling at him, but it was more of a motivation. It wasn't to criticize or demean him in any way, shape, or form. So, anyways, so we went 3-0 in that. It wasn't a tournament. It was a session. Sorry, CYBL.
Okay.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, it was a session. Yeah, we did a session, and then I remember there was one game. A coach was crying actually in one of the after one of the games. It was kind of weird. One of the players came up to me and said, "Yeah, the coach is crying," and I just found it a little weird. But the day
He's
after, I kind of got
involved.
salted
Yeah.
because yeah, kind of got salted the day after because I had a game in the morning, and then I was supposed to have a scheduled game against a team from Shawinigan, but they
Mhm.
didn't end up showing up. So that was a bit of a piss off being at the school all day, you know what I mean? And then
Right.
a team doesn't show up. So the first tournament was called Born in Again. We won 2 games. We lost one. We lost against a team called Up North, which they're located in Toronto. And
Yep.
it was very, very tough. It was really, really, they were a very competitive team. And we all know that, teams from Toronto, they invest in their basketball, unlike Montreal, no disrespect to the city, but Toronto, they always invest
Right.
in basketball. So going up against a real competitive team like them, it was really, really tough. But we'll be ready next time, you know? Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll be ready.
you get that experience, man, and then also that like when those type of matchups happen, and those type of programs you're up against, type of cities that they're coming from, the type of culture they have, you have to match that energy, and if it isn't there, then you make those adjustments moving forward. But there's never a losing mentality. It's always a lesson learned, and then an accomplishment achieved, and then you move forward with whatever you have to continue to grow your career. So for sure that those type of things always come up for any great coach has gone through ups and downs. So no
Yeah.
path to success or no path to where you want to be comes without a little bit of trial and tribulation.
Yeah, so my next tournament coming up will be against it's a Brookwood Invitational, which is June 24th to the 26th, and that team, Brookwood, I've always wanted to beat Brookwood. I have never been able to beat
Uh-oh.
Brookwood. No, no disrespect. Brookwood is one of the most
Competitive spirit.
respectable. Yeah, Brookwood is one of the most
Yeah.
respectable organizations in Montreal. Um, but that is a team I think that's going to be our next test is Brookwood, and with the
That.
talent
Mhm.
that I have on my team, I believe we can beat Brookwood.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's the next one.
You got to
Yeah,
believe in that, man, and you have to
that's
believe
it.
in your guys. And like you said, you're here to make statements. You said that was on June
Yeah,
24th this
yeah,
year, June
yeah. June
24th this year,
24th to the
Brooklyn
26th.
24th to the 26th invitational. That'll be great, man, because that's again more experience for you guys, and that's a date that you have circled on your calendar because you guys know
Oh,
that
for
that
sure.
matchup, it means something to you guys to be able to get over that hump, and also to prove yourself against, like you said, one of the best organizations that's been around for a while. So no, I'm really happy to hear that, and I'm looking forward to hearing about how that plays out. We're gonna just maybe give you some time here if you wanted to shout out or make mention of anyone from your Wildcats organization, people that you're closely working with, or people that that have some stuff going on that maybe you might be collaborating with. But for the most part, is there any shout outs or any people that you'd like to make mention from the Wildcats?
Yeah. So the first one, obviously, I want to give a shout out to Bruno. Um, a big thanks, for bringing me back into the fold. You know,
Hmm.
he's actually the first person to give me a head coaching spot and in the AAU. So I want to give a big shout out to Bruno. I've like I said, I've
Okay.
known him for a very long time. We had adult tournaments against each other, and me and him were always trashing each other on the court. But at the end of the day, I respect this
All
guy.
love. Yeah.
Very, 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 very respectful guy. And like I said, I'm just happy to be back in the fold and be back to be coaching, in an organization that I helped them start, by the way. So I want to thank him for that. I want to thank there's other coaches. This guy named Christian. I haven't really spoken to him much. A guy named Verdy. Um, these are the coaches, part of the organization, just their energy, just their commitment and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
It's great, being part of an organization that's not dramatic. No disrespect to anyone else. I'm just saying, me personally, being somewhere where there's no drama, everyone works well with one another.
All right.
No one tells each other what to do. Everyone just, coordinates. Everyone just works
Right.
together, and that's the way it's supposed to be. I also want to give a shout out to KJ, because because Wildcats right now we're only a summer program, and I basically mentioned, and a few other people mentioned that we're
Mm-hmm.
too good to be just a summer program. We want to expand in the fall. So the fact that I'm committed myself to coaching with Wildcats in the long run,
Yeah.
especially during the fall, and KJ as well. I want to give him props, and I want to give a shout out to him because, that's my fam. Like I've known
No
him for
doubt.
quite some time now, and I've been to some of his games, and he actually inspires me the way he coaches and the way he conducts himself.
Yeah.
Like I said, every day I'm learning something, right?
Yeah.
It's not about being a rookie or whatnot. Every day you learn something.
Yeah.
So just the way he runs his team and whatnot. I want to give a big shout out to him. I can't wait to hopefully
Continue
in the
to
fall.
do more
Exactly.
great things. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
No,
his
that.
assistant his assistant coach Dwayne,
Mhm.
who's a personal trainer. Oh, I forgot. KG's also a personal trainer. Dwayne's got his own little thing going on, training kids and whatnot. So it's good to
Nice.
see. It's good to see, especially amongst us,
Mm-hmm.
African Americans, stepping up and doing something for the community, and
For sure.
I want to give a shout out to him, for running his little program called the Pegasus Project. So I want to give a shout out to him. I want to give a shout out to Rajeev, who's coaching at Thetford, one of the most respectable
Right.
schools. Um, just all the work that he's been doing, and again, he's a coach that is he's very, very strategic. He'll be down by, let's say, 10, 15 points, and I'm not worried.
Right. You
I'm not.
just.
He's one of those coaches that I've seen. He'll be down in the game by 15, and he won't be worried. He'll get the job done at the end of the day. So I got to give respect to a guy like Rajeev, and then there's Yasin. When I used to coach at Cité des Jeunes,
Yeah.
um, just seeing how Yasin, especially coaches girls and whatnot, and girls are not the easiest ones to coach. No disrespect to girls, but it's a tough task. So especially the way he coached today's game. Just a big shout out to everybody. All the Wildcats
Whole
coaches,
organization and
yeah, head
everybody
coaches,
that's been
assistants,
part of
everybody, all
your.
the players, everybody, everyone.
Yeah.
It's just we are growing, and it's only been 3 years, by the way. We lost a year because of obviously COVID in 2020, but we are just growing, and it's just going to get better and better. And
Nice.
our main message is for everyone to respect us and to know about us,
Yeah.
and that's the goal. So um, like I said, man, my second time around being back here, it's just like my girlfriend always says, everything happens for a reason. So my second coming here, it's been
Been
absolutely
working great.
fantastic. Oh, it's
Yeah.
been absolutely fantastic. No, uh,
No
I
complaints.
can't.
No.
No
No
complaints, not at all. Like
arguments.
like I said,
You're just.
we're all there for one another. So it's just great. It's
That's
great
good.
to continuing to do the things that I love, especially coaching, and especially at Wildcats. So
Yeah, no, I'm happy to hear that, man, and I'm looking forward to hearing more of those great stories that you have with some of the people you're working with, and picking up some little pieces of how they do things, so that you could kind of use that to yourself, but you're also using that to help the people around you, because you're really happy with the way that people are working together. And just to kind of switch gears a little bit here, because we're gonna be wrapping up in a bit. Right now, and again, shout outs to the Wildcats. Definitely, we're going to make mention of you guys in the description. Jelani's been really happy to be working with this organization, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what other great things come down the pipeline, because I'm happy to see these programs flourish and grow. I'm a huge advocate for sports for youth. And I'm also an advocate for helping build communities. And if it's through sports and helping bring people that way and, have people exercise the things that they're most passionate about, then that's always a good idea. But just to throw it now here, of course, the NBA is among NBA season is past. We're in the playoffs. We're almost reaching the NBA finals, and I wanted to get your coach's perspective because, of course, now we have our coach's corner, and yeah, I wanted to get your perspective on first, like how you felt the coaching has been in the playoffs overall, and then just maybe some overall final thoughts in terms of what you think, how teams have played, and what your ultimate prediction might be.
All right. So to be honest, because of my busy schedule, I haven't really kept up with most of the games. So to be honest, from the coaching aspect of it, like I'm just really impressed uh, by especially Boston. Udoka, the way he coaches his team, the system that he brought in, like
Yeah,
it's just wow. Like this is a team, you went from, a respectable coach like Brad Stevens last year, and they struggled, right?
yeah,
And then you bring in Udoka, and then they just finished like one of the best defensive teams in the league. And
yeah,
then you have Marcus Smart winning defensive player year award. So it's just the system that he brought in, and I love defense. I'm a defensive guy when it comes to coaching. So looking at a guy like him, it's just like it's crazy, And another guy from the great Popovich tree, right?
yeah.
So
That Popovich
it's
tree is
yeah.
is no short of another great set of coaches. Him, Kerr, and I know there's other guys that were probably under his wing as well. But
Yeah.
no, Udoka's good, man, and like Boston, that organization, they've had ups and downs, but when they
Yeah.
get their coaches and they have at least the players that could, help execute and perform well, then they usually
Hmm.
seem to have good seasons. But I'm really surprised and also happy to see that he's doing so well very short in such a short amount of time. Is there any coach, maybe just one more coach that you think is like, someone that you really like to watch, you kind of see that they've built? I mean, I know that there's been great coaches in the past, but even just present coaches, any coaches that you like, their style or just the way they do things?
Right now, actually there is actually. I like Great Popovich. I've always loved Great Popovich. Just the system, like I said, the
The
system that
ultimate.
he brought in, swinging the ball and whatnot. Like I just love San Antonio. That's like my team in
100%.
the West. I love San Antonio, and the way that what's the word I'm looking for? Like the way he coached his team this year. No one expected them to be almost in the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
like San Antonio lost a lot of guys. Kawhi, DeRozan, all these guys. But when you got the core guys, it's wow. Like
Yeah, you could do a
it's
lot of good
crazy.
things. Yeah, I hear that, and like as a guy that's watched basketball forever, Popovich is Hall of Fame bound. He's been around forever, and he's helped inspire and also create and shape certain careers that we see now, both from a player standpoint and from a coach's standpoint. And that's what we're here to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we've basically gone over is, the importance of coaching and understanding that a team is as good as their coach, but sometimes the coach, it really takes that coach to be very involved. It takes that coach to really show their passion, to understand where they need to maybe make changes. As Jelanie mentioned before, he didn't want to just be a typical coach. He didn't want to just be someone who had a clipboard and maybe things work out, maybe things don't. He wants to make statements, and that was his purpose. So I'm really happy that we are able to do this with you today, Jelanie. It's really good to get that perspective, also to see kind of the growth that you've had, starting off where you were from Brookwood, Wyoble, Sun Youth. Now you're with, Wildcats. And like, so all of that is just playing into your career. I guess as a final question that I'd like to ask is what is like your goal, man? What's your short-term goal now? And what's something that you hope to accomplish in the near future?
Right now it's win championships, especially
Nothing. Yeah, nothing else but just get
nothing
the
short for
job done.
championships.
Right.
That's it. That's our motto is just win championships. We're on a
Yeah.
whole another level now. Like as Rajeev. would say, you're talking to the gods. So
Okay.
we are the elder gods when it comes to basketball. Everybody's got to respect us, and we're just gonna baptize everybody. Everyone's gonna respect us,
Oh man.
regardless. In, in every way, shape, or form, everyone's gonna respect us.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, is to win championships in the short term, and obviously in the long term. I want to build with these guys. I hope that all of these coaches stay for years to come, because they're amazing people, and I believe without great coaching, you don't have a great program. It all starts with the coaching,
Right.
because you could have mediocre or even above average players and make them great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I just hope I can build for years to come with these guys, because they're amazing. Every single one of these coaches are hard ass workers. So
Yeah. No, shout outs to them. And ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is a special
oh, follow,
edition.
by the way, sorry,
Yes.
follow Wildcats on Instagram, Wildcats.basketball.
That was what I was
Follow
gonna
us,
get to
Wildcats.
next, man. I was gonna ask you where could people find you? Where could they get all of your socials or all your stuff? And you said it there. If you want to repeat it one more time, where could people find you and all the sports stuff you're up
You
to?
can find me on Instagram at Jashawn88. That's Jashawn88, if you didn't hear me the first time.
Yeah.
And you can follow you can find Wildcats on Instagram at wildcats.basketball.
Absolutely. And we'll make sure to have all those posted in the description for people. So it's nice and easy. You can go right to the page once you copy it. Again, my name is Rahshawn, aka Mr. Greenheart. This has been a special edition episode of The Ant Green Show with Coach Jelanie. Really great perspectives today. Really happy to have you on. Thanks again for joining us, man. True competitive spirit, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for the Wildcats. Shout out to the Wildcats organizations and all other great Montreal programs that continue to flourish. We're going to be able to give you some more great takes in the future. This is just a stepping stone into where we'd like to go into expanding this brand. But again, I'm your host, Mr. Greenheart. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you on our next episode. Peace and love.